My only concern is that nobody's gonna get messy, and I want a messy reunion, okay? I want a messy reunion. I want people screaming and yelling and throwing fits. Hello. So, I'm talking so quietly, but that's because I'm at my boyfriend's house and I don't want to be too loud here. If it was in my house, I would be like screaming. I was also absolutely screaming at amusement parks a couple days ago, and my voice is just not full capacity, so it feels like a good moment to not make a lot of noise. In honor of the fact that the Love Island season 7 reunion is happening on the 25th, which I think is that Monday? And so I thought that I would talk about some of my Love Island season 7 reunion predictions. So I'm gonna be doing my makeup today while I make some of those predictions. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't really have any concealer left. So my pimples are just gonna have to be like really shown today, I guess. Okay, so let's get into my predictions. My first thing that I'm like, honestly, what I'm most excited to see is everything with like the Huda, Shelly, and Alondria drama. I've been watching a lot of like the interviews with different cast members and stuff, and it seems like Nick is still cool with Huda, but Alondria unfollowed Huda. Here's the thing that really confuses me as far as like the drama goes, because Alondria and Nick were hanging out with Huda and Amaya and Brian right after the finale wrapped and everything, and they were back. They were all hanging out together and they seemed like they were cool. Now in the villa, Alondria and Huda definitely seemed like they weren't on the best terms, just because, I mean, like towards the end, yeah, but I feel like when Shelly was there and like during the Standing on Business challenge, honestly, I was like, like they were like not good. Like it was very clear that they were not good. And I personally feel like where I stand on the drama, in case you guys wanted to know where I stand on the drama, Shelly and Alondria, although, well, we'll just say Shelly because this is really Shelly's business, the whole thing that happened with Ace. I think that she was partially correct. The way Alondria stepped in the challenge just didn't really make sense to me, and on the Standing on Business challenge, and stepped in and kind of aired out the fact that Huda Chris kissed Chris. The fact that Huda kissed Chris, it just didn't really make sense to me, and it also didn't really make sense to me that Shelly would be upset about that. If what we think happened at the heart rate challenge did happen, meaning Huda was like going way too far, I feel like Shelly had a reason to be upset. But I don't think she had a reason to be upset that she was with Chris, because you have to pick your battle. You know what I mean? Like you can't be upset that Huda's getting with both, like well, she wasn't getting with Ace, but you know what I'm saying. You can't be mad at Huda for what she did with Ace during the heart rate challenge and be mad at her for kissing Chris, because if you're mad at her for kissing Chris, that kind of like took the validity away for me of like how upset she was at Huda. Because like if you're also mad at her for kissing Chris, it just comes across that you just don't like her, versus like her being wrong. Like she could, do I think she was wrong in the heart rate challenge? I gotta see it. But I do think if what has been speculated is true, then yeah, that was a little cray. But at the same time, if you were still so enthralled with Chris, because Shelly was still open. This is the biggest thing to me, is that Shelly was not only still open, she was also still pursuing Chris. She was interested in Chris, and she doubled back on him during the heart rate challenge. And then when Ace was talking to her about the fact that he was upset about it, she couldn't understand. And to me, that just didn't really make a lot of sense, because it's like you got mad at Ace merely for, you know, everything that happened with Huda during the heart rate challenge and all that stuff. But he can't be mad at you for doubling back and going towards Chris twice. And also you have openly admitted that you're exploring Chris, and you got mad at Huda for kissing him. And that was like a big deal at the Standing on Business challenge. So I just think that there's a lot of double standards there. So it makes it hard for me to agree with Shelly. Even though at the beginning and towards the middle of the season, I actually really agreed with a lot of the things that she was doing and I really liked her. But that kind of is where it shifted for me because it just made no sense. It seemed like she just wanted everybody and she just was fed up with Huda and didn't want Huda to have anybody that she was also interested in. So at the reunion, I do think there's going to be some type of airing of what actually happened during the heart rate challenge, and I'm very excited to see. I think what happened at the heart rate challenge is that she was like, you know, I don't know if I should say it on my channel, but yeah, I think what happened, what was shown to us on the show is just not what happened. Like, I think there was much worse because what we saw didn't justify Shelly's reaction, in my opinion, at all. Also, Chris was, you know, doing the same thing to Shelly while Huda was doing the thing to Ace. So it just like, if that's all that happened, obviously it doesn't feel valid. But if more happened that we didn't see, you know, that's where it's like, you know, like how much, like how bad was it? Especially if it was bad enough to the point where like they didn't show it. That felt weird to me because like, obviously they show a lot on that show. You know, they're not exactly the most family friendly. So if they felt like they couldn't show it, it must have been really bad if there was something they edited out. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I think that's going to be a really big topic of conversation at the reunion. I want to see who's still together. Like, as far as like Amaya and Brian go, I think that they're still together. But I can't tell how genuine they are. Like, I love Amaya. Like, she was definitely my favorite on the season. I love her. Like, I think that she was honestly like the most regular person on the show. I feel like everybody else was like super like, not fake, but like influencer-y, I guess. She just seemed like she was like really herself and like came onto the show more for fun than for followers. And I thought that was like just really cool to see. So obviously I wanted her to win just because I wanted her to win. Her winning had nothing to do with Brian. Let's start there. Brian standing up for Amaya during the Standing on Business challenge was cute. Like, somebody had to. Nobody was. That's a whole separate conversation though. The fact that literally nobody else was standing up for her. She was just being attacked for like zero reason at all. She didn't do anything. She didn't do anything but like call people babe. And then 3 men were attacking her. And I was just like, why are you attacking her? Like, what is worth attacking about that? You know what I mean? And then obviously Brian stood up for her, which is like, we love that. And like, that's why I ultimately think that they got together. But, you know, we didn't really get to see much of them. Like, they weren't together for most of the season. Brian came in Casa. And so like, that was not something that we got to see like play out past that. Like, that was like their moment. And then after that, I feel like we didn't really get to see too much of their dynamic. Do you know what I mean? So it's like very vague what their dynamic looks like to me. So I'm interested to see how they present themselves at the reunion. I do think they're going to be still together. Honestly, I think everyone that left together is going to be still together. I think Huda's going to get a lot of screen time because everyone's got a problem with her. So listen, I had a problem with her too. In like the beginning episodes of the season, I did not like Huda. With the whole Huda and Jeremiah situation, I think Huda and Jeremiah situation is going to be talked about a lot, obviously, because that was like a big part of the season. But like, where was I going with that? I did not like her during that. I did not. I mean, I didn't like her or Jeremiah during that. And then I started to like be like okay with them when they like got apart. But like, I thought Huda was so dramatic in like not a good way. Like, I was just so confused. I felt like she was like bullying Jeremiah in like every single scene that I saw. So I was one of those people that voted to get to get Jeremiah with Iris. Not because I thought they should be together, but because I thought I did not like Huda and I wanted Huda off of my TV screen. But I kind of switched to feeling bad for her towards the middle and end because I did feel like she was being bullied. I know that's like a big topic. Be like, oh, was it bullying? Was it bullying? I mean, listen, whether or not you use the term bullying, she was definitely being ganged up on and she was definitely isolated. And that made me feel bad for her because I'm like, I feel like even after Jeremiah left, everyone was like giving her a hard time still. It's like, she's just a girl. Like, she was, don't get me wrong, she was in the wrong in the Jeremiah situation. You know, I was like, what is going on? You know, she was like totally in the wrong in that situation. But we don't have to like still hate on her. Like, she's still on the show. You're all claiming that you're being nice to her. I feel like they're being really fake to her face. A lot of the girls mostly. And a lot of the guys honestly treated Jeremiah the same way. Like, after the Huda and Jeremiah thing, a lot of the guys were like hating on Jeremiah, and a lot of the girls started hating on Huda. And I don't know exactly what that dynamic was about, but I'm interested to see what they talk about it, because I know that both sides of that coin are going to get discussed at the reunion. They have to. So I'm really interested to see that, and I think that that's going to get discussed. I think that everyone's going to stay exactly. My only concern is that nobody's going to get messy, and I want a messy reunion, okay? I want a messy reunion. I want people screaming and yelling and throwing fits. I want to see drama, you know what I'm saying? Oh my god, we're going to try to put this on. I feel like every time I do this thing, it fails. It's like, meh. So I am a little concerned because I've been watching a lot of interviews and nobody has been messy except for Huda. Nobody has been messy except for Huda. And like, I need everybody to start being messy like yesterday. My pre-reunion feelings about people is very neutral. Honestly, nobody's like my favorite except for Amaya. Like, I like Amaya because she's just so like, you know, like she just didn't piss me off, you know? I'm not gonna say straight up that I like Huda, but I don't dislike her, and I don't dislike her nearly as much as I feel like a lot of people do. I definitely started there, but then, you know, came around for sure. And for me, it was the opposite for Shelly. I really liked her. And then all of a sudden, like, when I saw how she was acting with Huda, I was like, And then the way she was acting with Ace about the whole situation, about her doubling back and not being able to understand, like, why Ace was upset about that. I'm like, but you're upset at Huda and Ace, but you can't understand why Ace is upset with you? Like, that really bothered me. And Alondria, when she was with Taylor and she was just like so obsessed with him and would not drop that man, I was just like, Alondria, like, you're better than this, you're better than that man, like, what is going on? It was really annoying for me to watch that. And I also didn't like that she fully like aired Huda's business out in the Standing on Business challenge. It made it seem like it was like this like big deal that she kissed Chris, the guy that she literally brought back. And Shelly keeps arguing that, oh, you say you brought him back for me, yada yada, which honestly shouldn't even be that big of a deal if you're still in love with Ace. But they actually have footage that they showed during the show of her like, hey, like, you like him, I like him, of Huda admitting that she liked him and that she also wanted to pursue him, and that it was not just for Shelly. So Shelly can say all she wants that that's what Huda said. We saw it different even prior to the reunion. We saw on the episode that it was different. So she can get mad all she wants. We know the truth. But anyways, I really liked Alondria up to that point. Then I was a little iffy on her after the fact that she did that. I was like, that's like kind of crazy. But now I like her again. I think she just felt like she had to like defend her friend, which like totally makes sense. But I think she just went a little too to bat for her friend in that situation, because that should have been a private conversation. It just shouldn't have been a conversation that was aired out, and that I guess that it was a Standing on Business challenge. That was like what they were being encouraged to do. But I feel like they kind of hashed that out on the show. And so like, I feel like where I stand with Alondria is the same place I stand with Huda. It's just like, I don't, you know, I like her, don't dislike her, but you know, I have feelings about certain actions, you know. Austin, I never liked Austin. There was a period of time where he was like in that thing with Shelly where I started to like him a little bit. And then I decided, no, you're annoying. You talk like you don't know how to speak. That's so mean, but like, that's how I feel. Yeah, I never liked him. Well, I did for like a split second. And then I was like, yeah, no. And to be mean to Amaya, just to like everyone's like, oh, like Ace was the ringleader. First of all, of course, Taylor and Nick are gonna say he wasn't the ringleader, because like that looks bad on them. They'd be like, no, he was not telling us what to do. We have our own minds. And it's like, oh, he was telling you what to do. He was just so good at it, you didn't even realize. And he was telling everybody in that villa what to do, because he even convinced Austin. I feel like the only reason that Austin ended up feeling the way he did about Amaya was because of Ace. And Ace was like egging him on to feel that way. And I don't know about that other guy. God, I can't remember his name. I know he's Miguel from season 6's friend, but I don't, oh, Zach. I don't know if it was the same situation with him. But I do feel like Zach was such a villain in that situation. I do not like Zach. I do not like him. Like, there was no reason for him to, you know, pick Amaya and do all that and then be like, you made me kiss you. Like, you're a grown man. What do you mean she made you? There's just so much that happened. Hannah and Pepe, let's talk about it. The fact that Iris was so into TJ and then immediately decided, no, I'm gonna go with Pepe, and now they're like together outside the villa, even though, like, if it would have been in like, do they get in their heads about, like, the fact that if situations would have happened in a different order, they'd be with a different person? Like, does that not bother you? This necklace is bothering me. TJ and Iris would still be together if Hannah never left and TJ never left. Okay, so when Charlie left, I felt so bad for Hannah and I felt so bad for Charlie because, like, I liked them together genuinely. And they had that cutesy little combo right before he was sent home. Loved that. But then Hannah, like, next morning, she's, like, talking to Shelly and she's like, no lip gloss today because I just keep kissing it all off. And then she's, like, you know, getting down with Pepe in the bed the next day. Like, that's crazy. I don't feel bad for you anymore. You know, I wanted to feel bad for you, but now I don't. And now I feel relief for Charlie. So I don't want them to get rekindled because Charlie doesn't deserve that. So those are, like, the biggest topics that I want to see at the reunion, because those things need to be discussed, like yesterday. I don't want to see anybody playing PR trained answers. I don't want to see that PR trained bullshit. I want to see drama. I want to see arguing, screaming, and fighting. Why does everybody want to be all, no, we don't have something against each other, but you unfollow each other on Instagram? But when you're on a podcast, you're like, no, we don't have anything against. Stop going on podcasts just to give us zero tea and tell us, you know, yeah, we're cool. You know, we don't really hang out, but we're cool. You guys want to meet my boyfriend's cat? She's a very confused girl. This is Emily, my boyfriend's cat. Say hello. She wants to see at the reunion a cat fight. That's what she wants to see. Bow, 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 bow. I just need whoever does the reunion, whoever's the host of the reunion, I just need them to, like, pull the drama out. I don't want them to stand for any of those bullshit answers of, oh no, we're all fine. I want, seriously, I want clips played. I want the heart rate challenge shown. The cat hair in the air is crazy. But yeah, moral of the story, I want to see clips. And I don't want to hear a peep from Austin. Okay, that's all. Say bye, fluffy cat. Say, I have so much fur everywhere. She's so tense. Okay, bye.